Thank you very much for joining us for this final session. This isn't just the last session of this GEC conference. It is, in fact, the only 1 o'clock session. So well done for sticking around. You guys are heroes. So hopefully we're going to try and give you something that's going to be a worthwhile sort of final session. It's not going to be particularly long, but it is hopefully going to be fun. Unlike the Kansas session, for anybody who's going to do it here, we're not giving away massive boxes of swag just because you made it this far through the conference, but we are going to give you a couple of little things to say thank you for turning up. Okay, that's my hat and stuff. Just move it out the way. It's fine. Hadn't expected every table to need to be used at this point. Welcome to this sort of final workshop session on no bad ideas. This is hopefully going to be useful, and I'm going to put some context on it. But I should stress a little bit about why I'm here and the context of what this looks like. There are going to be 3 of us facilitating this session. Although has one of them run out of the room already? Has Steve run away from us already?
In the back.
We've lost him. Okay, fine.
He's in the back.
Oh, fine. Okay, he's just the one hanging around at the back. So first off, that's me. My name's Tim Barnes. I run a charity and think tank in the UK called the Centre for Entrepreneurs. And I'm here not because I've had any part in using this tool in the past, the thing we're going to talk about today, but in generating it, but because we ended up as a user. A couple of sort of 9 months ago, 10 months ago, I got given one of these decks because Matt Smith had too much stuff in his bag to take it home, right? And he was just like, please take this off me, and we did. And we were doing a piece of research work with one of the national innovation agencies in the UK. And you can tell how innovative and creative they are because it's an innovation agency and it's called Innovate UK. It's not a naturally creative place. And we were asked to work with them for a few months. By the way, cut that bit out of the recording because they pay me money. Okay. So we took on a piece of consultancy work because they were looking for different types of tools, different types of processes, workshop formats, things like that, to partly stimulate their own creative thinking and partly so that they could help understand more of the ways in which the people that they work with think. So researchers, entrepreneurs of different types. And sometimes it's pretty hard to tell the difference because there are lots of products like this, right? There are lots of things that look a bit like the decks you've got in front of you. People with question cards, challenge cards of different types that exist in order to create and stimulate new conversations. But most of the people in here are a little bit, we're a bit hard-nosed about this. We've seen lots of these things before, perhaps, and it's sometimes hard to know which are the ones that could work and don't. What we found, though, was that this was the one that our audience liked. Like the people we were trying to do the workshop for responded to this better than any of the other tools, online tools and other card-based tools that we were using. And so I'm here to basically say, have a look, have a go at this, have a play with this, see if this is a useful thing for your world, because it worked for the people that we were trying to help. I'm not trying to say, look at this, or that we played any part of it, or it's amazing in that sense, but that the end users, the end beneficiaries responded to this well. I'm joined today by 2 of the colleagues from Gen. Over here we have Gary. That's Gary. That's Gary. That's the real Gary. That's the photo of Gary. That's Gary. And Steve, who is over here, who seems to be resisting the chance to take the limelight. So he's the one that's running around at the back at the moment. In order to get things going, though, because this is the last session, you have just had lunch, and nobody's really worried about, making or embarrassing themselves at this point, because you're all about to stop seeing everybody else for probably the next 12 months, unless you want to play with them on the way back. So Gary's just going to do a little bit of a warm-up just to get you moving in post-lunch haze.
How y'all doing? So we're going to do a 60-second energizer, okay? This will require you to maybe get up and talk to someone around the space. So I want you to get ready. This is called Invent the Useless, okay? So here in this workshop, we want to embrace creativity without judgment, because sometimes the most useless ideas spark the most useful ones. So I want you to invent a completely useless product or app and name it. So an example of that would be maybe it's an AI tool that reminds your plants of your birthday. Or it could be a dating app just for dogs. Random idea. So invent the useless. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and I want you to come up with the name of your most ridiculous idea with someone at the table or in the room. And then at the 30-second mark, I want you to pitch it to that person. So pitch a random idea to that person. So you have a full minute. Everyone got it? I'm going to give you an example again. So maybe it's an AI tool that reminds your plants of your birthday or a dating app for dogs. You need to name the app or tool and then pitch it to your partner.
And try and make it somebody you don't already know. So if you're sitting next to the people you've been hanging around with for the last couple of days, pick somebody across the table you've never spoken before.
And make sure you pay attention to what they're pitching because we may want to hear some of these cool ideas.
All right, go.
Go.
Nice choice.
Yeah? Cool. It's a full house. This is great.
It's unexpected.
I know.
But
right?
you know. Actually, we'll do a gimmicky thing in a second.
Okay.
And also, I'm going to do it with us and then do a selfie back into the audience. Oscar style.
All right, you should be pitching your product now. You should be pitching your product. Pitch your product. 30 seconds. Pitch your product. All right, all right, all right. I hear a lot of conversation happening. So who heard a really interesting product or app that they want to share?
Okay.
There's a lady over here who'd like to.
I want to pitch my own idea.
Okay.
Okay. It is called vitamin C. S-E-E. It's an app to remind me to take my meds. I have all vitamins. I'm into the natural stuff. I need an app to take. Alicia, take your Pepsi. Alicia, take your vitamin D.
Okay, okay.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C. I love that. I love that. What about over here? Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Remind me. I love it. I love it. Irene here in the middle. Okay. Sleep less. It buzzes you when you fall asleep. I love it.
For all those people in the room that feel they have too much sleep.
My app, it's called Don't Go There. It's an app with all the places I don't love and with all the activities I don't want to go. I don't want to do.
That is genius. Don't go there.
My technology is called dry water. Have you ever been tired of water? That is too wet. You just don't want to be wet with water. Well, my technology can take the hydration out of water, so you can enjoy water. without the
Okay, I
wetness.
see that. don't know. I like to be wet when I'm in the tub. I don't know. Okay. We have one right here.
Last one.
Last one.
Hi everyone, my name is Asma. Mine is Gist Me. So I'm an introvert as well as an extrovert. I like gisting. In Nigeria, we call gisting like you like talking to people. I love gisting a lot. But sometimes I don't want to talk to anybody. But if I could get an app that gets me and we can talk about everything without the drama, I really would love that.
I love it. So we heard some really great app ideas. So even the weirdest ideas have potential when you're open, no judgment, So thank you all for participating in this fun icebreaker.
Thank you. Big round of applause for yourselves. And one for Gary for setting that up. I'm just worried that the conference thing's sort of running away with me and I'm about to overshare. But my girlfriend's Nigerian and I need that conversation because that is what she does. Nobody else talks as much and says as little. It's an extraordinary thing. Right. Please delete that from the recording as well. Okay. So the strange thing about this having been the exercise that Gary picked to sort of get things going is it kind of suggests that none of you need what we're about to do, which is effectively a tool to help you generate and think about new ideas. And it's good for a variety of different type of situations. For trying to stimulate the creative process, come up with new ideas, but like all things, it's not necessarily that the ideas you come up with are the right ones. It's about the process that you helped to learn by doing it, and about how you exercise that creative muscle in order that it's a little bit fitter and stronger the next time you try and use it. It's also a tool that can be used to help evaluate ideas that you've already got, and one that you can use to help develop strategies to implement the ideas that have gone through that creative process and then been challenged. And in fact, there are a variety of different ways that you can use this particular deck. It's not necessarily, it doesn't have a sort of single pathway right through it. And we're going to have a go at playing with these decks today. We're going to probably split you as tabled because we're now a full house, which, again, wasn't expecting at this point in the graveyard shift of the conference. So thank you very much. But we're going to split you all into two, right? All the tables into two groups. So roughly work out where the dividing line is. There should be two decks, two of the black boxes, black deck boxes in between you. And if you can just work out who is in which half of the table, that's your very first task. And while you're doing that, can you also, while you're doing that, and anybody who's in the last session I did an hour or so ago will know this is a thing I like to do a lot, can you also get your mobile phones out as well, please? Okay, we don't want to create any arguments about who's in which team right now, right? This isn't supposed to be a point of differentiation. Okay. So you've now got teams. Get your phones out because we want to know a little bit more about you. You've heard from me. You've heard from Gary. Well, you haven't really heard from Stephen, but he's walking around doing stuff that is there. So just tell us a little bit about you as well. So scan that QR code and fill in the option and tell us a little bit about who you are. What's your role in the context of being here? It's anonymous. Nobody's going to know what we say. We just want to help take a little bit of a sense check as to who people are in the room and what it's like, and then we'll perhaps be able to tailor some of what we say a bit later on. $15 people so far. 22 people have managed to fill in the survey. 30. How many tables have we actually got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9.
45, 48, 51.
Okay, so we're getting pretty close. We're getting close there. That's almost everybody's done it. So thanks very much for the enthusiasm. So let's have a look. Who reckons they know what's the biggest category going to be? Entrepreneur, biggest category? Okay, Team Nigeria is going entrepreneur. No. Ecosystem builder. Based on the last one, that was what we had. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, this explains why you were all so creative and good in Gary's exercise when it came along. You are the natural entrepreneurs. Okay, that's great. So educators and ecosystem builders, and just a smaller number of the, so we have the doers in the room, right? That's probably why you've all made it to this session. You're all the people who are actually going to extract as much juice as possible out of this conference, and the bottom half of it, and the people who do the thinking, they've probably thought their way to getting on planes already. So let's just go with a little bit as to what this is all about. No Bad Ideas is the name of the deck, the name of this particular tool that you've got in front of you. If you've taken it out of the box and you haven't yet taken it out of the shrink wrap, take it out of the shrink wrap plastic as well, because it's not very useful to you while it's still covered in plastic. What you'll find inside is a series of cards with colored backgrounds. Do not start shuffling. This isn't Vegas, right? Indianapolis is most definitely not Vegas, and I don't mean to insult either place in pointing that out. But No Bad Ideas is about a team to help, as I said, to help unlock your creativity, help to get you thinking in particular ways and being conscious of what it is that you're doing. It's also key that in the approach to this, this is a strange example compared to what we normally tell entrepreneurs, where quantity matters over quality. Quality comes out of this, out of the idea that lots of ideas is good. Lots of ideas is innately good, and you will find uses for those ideas, even in the process of rejecting them. So you want lots of ideas at every stage we talk about this. As Gary said earlier, and as it says on the front of the box, there are no bad ideas in this particular conversation. Quantity is what matters. That means that some of the ideas will be bad. Some of them will be as bad as dry water, which is really a terrible idea. But there will be some, and there'll probably be some ideas that are even worse than that. That's okay, right? That's okay. This is not one where the quality of the ideas is being judged, and that's a critical element as to why I think this is something that we found has worked with some of our clients and some of the people that we work with. It was a deck, as I said earlier, that was commissioned by Gen. So this is a Gen product. Did we do any research as to why they commissioned this? Did you do your piece of homework, Gary? Okay. Gary did not do his homework, everybody. It's okay. He was tired at the end of the conference. He had other things to do. But it was commissioned by Jen a couple of years ago. And here I'm gonna make an observation. This is my comment. This isn't necessarily meant to be taken as gospel. But the people who came up with the deck itself were actually a creative agency. Against the brief that Jen gave them. Now, often when we've had these kind of tools in the past, they've come with the idea of a new approach that's been generated by researchers or in academia. And they don't always work. And I suspect that one of the reasons why this does work is because it was actually done by a communications agency, and it's targeting people who are not normally the ones who've seen all those things before, right? So there's quite nice production values. It works quite nicely as a deck in general. As you go through this, and if you start to sort of unpack the instruction cards and the various other bits that are tucked into the deck, you'll see that the length of time that's suggested for most of these exercises is longer than we have today. When you actually want to do this, it kind of works for, in our point, like 2-hour sessions, 90 minutes, 2 hours, works quite well. Slightly longer, you can do more things, put a break in it, but it's more than the time we have today. So we're going to do a slightly abbreviated form just to get a sense of it all. And overall, though, it's about trying to create this sense of questions and discussions. It's not about telling you. There will be things in this deck. You're like, I do not believe in that. I do not think like that. That's okay. That's part of the idea of having different ideas that challenge what you do anyway. We said that bit, haven't I? There's like, generate lots of ideas, don't judge ideas, they can't. I have to keep looking over myself because I'm running this off my laptop, much to the annoyance of the very, very understanding guys at the back, but it does mean the screen down here isn't working, so I keep looking over my shoulder. But there's but as I said earlier, the best ideas come from sort of exploring all the possibilities that are there. So your goal today, in each of the stages of this exercise, is to generate as many ideas as possible for each of the stages that you go through. You have a set of 80 cards, which you can sort of, if you'd want to break them out by color, right? So they should break down into the group of instruction cards that are all covered in sort of black and white, and then 5 colors There's a green one, a purple one, a blue one, orange one, a yellow one, with a question on the back and then some sort of scenario and things on the other side. It makes sense to sort of break them down and just have them in piles by color, and you'll see why in a second. The other thing that you have in front of you that you get in the deck is a fold-out version of what they refer to as the innovation tool, which looks a bit like this, which is just 3 boxes. These ones are plain. The one on the screen we've got's got lines on it. Don't worry, you don't need to take photos on this. The boxes come with instructions. Okay? All that we're doing here is the human version of AI. Somebody fed the box into me, and I'm telling you what it said, slightly shorter. Okay. So you'll find all the stuff that you need is in there. But the point of this is where you're going to write down the ideas that come around, okay? And the reason they talk about rounds is because one of the things that works is that you kind of go through the stages, and then if you repeat the process and go through the same set of stages again, but with a different scenario, you'll get the sense of how your creative juices have changed, how you're advancing. So in many cases, you go through it once, twice, and then you can pick the best ideas that you generate between the 2 rounds. We're only going to do 1 round of stuff today, and as I say, a slightly short version just to get through things. Is this working so far? People understanding? We good? Gary, have I missed anything out?
No, I think we're good. I think they're ready to play.
Okay, so the normal way in which the instructions would encourage you to use this is you pick one of the dynamics, right? These are some of the black and white cards. Now, I'm actually going to skip this, but I'm just telling you about what's there. So there are 3 cards which talk about how to generate ideas, how to solve a problem, how to analyze scenarios. And depending on what you want to do with the clients, the students, the entrepreneurs that you work with, whatever your audience is, you might want to start with a different one of these. And each one just comes with a very straightforward set of instructions. So within the group that you're in, you're asked to pick a moderator. It's not a controversial role. You're not really moderating arguments. It basically means you're the one with the pen who's going to write things down, and you're the one who's going to draw the cards out of the deck. So in your groups, can you each nominate a moderator who's going to do the writing and the picking of cards? Try to choose somebody whose alternative career wasn't a doctor so that you can actually read their writing. Okay, so there you go. There's some serious passing around of cards going on. Steve's is incredibly well laid out here. Did you actually use a ruler to do that? It's pretty close to how well that is laid out. That is also honestly somebody. I'm not looking, but I suspect somebody on this table has at some point, used a tarot deck, because that's been laid out in a way that suggests the future of entrepreneurship is about to be discerned in the cards. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is, as I say, is a mini version of the way that this works normally. And so you've got the 5 decks in front of you, and as I said earlier, you can see the questions. Now, depending on whether or not you want to go for idea generation, you want to go for strategy, you want to go for analyzing a situation, you'd start with a different one of those 5 card decks. But for what we're going to do in trying to come up with some interesting, creative, wacky new business ideas, I want the moderator in each group to try and pick out, best you can at random, one of the cards from the... Oh, hold on. Got excited there. From the Future Scenarios deck, right? So it says on the back, can you foresee? And it's the yellow deck. And some of these are... oh, there you go. Thank you very much. Oh, it came in it well. Oh, that's good. Thank you. So you just want to draw one of those and have a look at what it describes. And so moderators, just get your gang in a huddle and basically, having picked a yellow card. No, Steve, just pick one at random. It's not top trumps, mate. You're not looking for the best one that's going to defeat the giant brontosaurus. That's a UK gag, and it's all right. The rest of us won't get it. Hands up if you've ever played top trumps. Yeah, okay, just us. Never mind. It's fine. So just pick a yellow card and have a discussion with your group about what it says on the back of the card. If you're standing at the back, do feel free to jump in. There's a chair over here for somebody, like, or at least stand next to a table and do participate if you want to. Okay, so you've got your scenario, right? You've got your scenario and what you can foresee. So I've just picked one at random out of the yellow deck, and I've got user-generated content. And the background is media and communications companies are increasingly prioritizing diversity directly from consumer creations, promoting the collective collaboration of different demographic groups. And then there's a challenge, right? And the goal here is design a brand strategy that helps members of disadvantaged demographic groups, it should be groups, the disadvantaged democratic doesn't work, there's a grammatical error in there. Can we correct that in the next pack? Raise their voices, all right? So have a look at that in the goal, and we're going to give you a couple of minutes, in fact, we're going to give you 3 minutes and 30 seconds to come up with as many ideas as you can for what that brand strategy should look like, or whatever it says on your yellow card. Is everybody happy? Is the mission clear? You got it? Okay. Are you the moderator? No, honestly, they were like, not with ideas like that whole dry water thing. Okay, go. Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, as I say, the idea is generate as many as possible. The reason that we gave you printed out versions of the innovation tool is so you could write those in the round one box, the left-hand side box, and you don't have to mess up your packs because you'll have the clean one in the pack to take home. So write down as many ideas as you can on the piece of paper we gave you. No, as in, what would you use virtual reality? So you like use virtual reality headsets, things like that. What would you use that service to be able to sell to? So you look at it and go, I've got virtual reality headsets, I'm going to let people walk around inside a house before I try and sell my house. So using VR, what would you use VR to effectively go and sell it? Well, it is just throwing out an idea, and then basically just gives the matches to that one. Okay. Correct. Yes, that's flexed off that. Yeah. In the nicest way, it's basically however you take it, right? It's a stimulation. So however you take it and make something out of that, and basically this is the scenario we're testing against. The group wants to run with. Yeah. Okay. Look, there are to make it worse. Oh, Go on, you should have at least 10 ideas by now. Okay. Okay, remember quantity over quality. Once you've got an idea, jot it down, have another idea. Don't try and debate its merits too much. Are actually more complicated than the ones in the pack. And the real thing, the real ones are the dynamics, right? And they're really clearly spelled out. I genuinely think the production values are really quite high. I think that's one of the reasons it's working. Okay, we're going to draw, like, we need to move on. You're still chatting. So, just, moderators, listen up. Whoa! Moderators, right. We're going to try and work out, remember, quantity over quality for this. So, moderators, count up how many ideas you've had. Which teams have only managed to come up with one idea? Only one idea. Anybody? Put your hand up if you've got 2 ideas. Okay, I should have just started with the basics. Has anybody failed to come up with any ideas at all? Because otherwise this game could go on for a while. No, okay. Only 1 idea? Only 2 ideas? Only 3 ideas? 3 ideas, well done. Well done. You got 3, fine. That's okay. If you start merging them together, you've probably overthought it right now, but that's fine. 4 ideas? More than 5 ideas? Whoa! Okay, this was going to take too long. I'm going to cut it back. Who's had more than 10 ideas? Oh, okay, go on. 1, 2, 3, take 4. Okay, through. Oh, you're 2 teams. You both think you've had more than 10 ideas. Whoa. Okay. Have you had more than 15 ideas? Anybody? Okay, these are the 3 teams to watch, okay? We're not going to do this at the end, but those are the 3 teams. That's pretty good going. Quantity over quality, because that's how so much of this starts, right? You're searching for needles in a haystack. So the more ideas you have, the more ground you can cover, the more likely you're going to come up with some gem of serendipity where 2 things knock together and become something positive. So you're going to go on and apply the next constraint to it. So think about those ideas. Keep those ideas in mind, but then look at one from the provoking situations deck, which is the orange one, which I think is the largest deck in the box. And it basically it's something that might change or change the dynamics of your idea a little bit. So I picked up one. That's a terrible one to pick up. Hold on. Cheating the deck a little bit there, so I can fix it. Right. So this one is making your product or service learn from the customer to become more personalized with each use. Right? So the idea of anything that increases personalization with use, like using a search engine, the more you use it, the more it's likely to return results that you like, is that it enhances stickiness amongst your users because they get a better service each time around. Then there's a little bit of a spread about that. So take that thought, that provoking idea, and apply it to some of the ideas you've already thought of. Which ones would be changed? How would they be changed? What would make it look different as a result of this idea if they're applied to the ideas that you've already had? So draw an orange card, discuss it with the team, and start applying that. Is that making sense? Steve, do you want to just have a chat? Sorry, Gary, do you want to have a chat with them and see if that's all right? So take the orange card, think about it, and apply that thought to the ideas that you've already had. Think as much as you can about how it would change the idea or change the proposition, not how it would cross it out. You're still going for volume. no. Take one from the orange one, and that's going to give you like an area to focus on, and then apply it to the ideas you already had. Yeah. So it's like so if it says saying personalization is a big factor, how would you think about taking those ideas? How could you personalize them more? Can you find a way of adding and making it more personalized each time that it's being used? Does that make sense? Okay. Anybody got any questions? No? I can't answer why it's dry, so we're okay. No, nothing else? We're all good? You guys happy? Anybody got any questions? Okay.
Good over here.
We good? We're good? Anybody got any questions? We're applying the... Right, so, let's say...
Gotcha.
let's say you were buying some parts, right? So one of the things you want to be able to do is be able to say, what type of car would you like? Now, so I want to be able to guess and predict what kind of customizations you might want to have it. So I know if I can find out more about a particular market and audience that I'm trying to sell to, then I can do things to ensure that you look like a pickup truck kind of guy, or you only buy it in blue, or you're going to want an engine or whatever else. Yeah. So you basically then apply that. So you might say, so how are you going to find out more about the audience so that you can customize the product when they first make contact with you? So just try and think about what it would take to change an idea. You're not trying to get rid of any of the ideas. You're trying to think, how would this change the idea? Would it make it better?
After we'll have to let you know how to do it. That's not
Yes. Hello.
yeah.
Not really. Not good. No, sorry. I have a video in Spanish for this, but I can't do it in Spanish. Oh, they might like that. Yes, there is. Yes, yes. There is a promotion video that is in Spanish, so there may already be a text in Spanish that I don't have. But we can check. The video is about 20 minutes. So it's Spanish. Hello. Yes. Yes. What about what you said? Oh, actually, definitely. It's exactly the same as we talked about earlier. Right? It's like guys who are also encouraging to have their own business. It's about developing the kind of business. Right. What it's really about is just moving that creativity muscle. It's something to say, but it actually works. Like the more time you sit around trying to come up with ideas, the better it gets, and the better you get at evaluating. And that's exactly what you do with the AI. No, I don't think it's a versus. I think it's actually it's like if there's a Okay, if you just take something basic, like I'm going to try and come up with some ideas for a piece of market. And I use the AI to go and gather customer information and things like that, much more than a big one.
I'll pass it along.
You can have a conversation with the AI about it. That's how most of that will matter. But your creativity must be still added. Okay, we all good? We're good? Okay. Okay. That one went on for a bit. So have a think about that. Team with more than 15. How many ideas do you still have? Yeah. You still kept like you've adapted most of them. You've applied the new idea to your old ideas for most of them. Maybe some. Okay, fine. Okay, 11. You're so keen to go like we improved on last time. Like we're building it up, better than we were. Okay. Same idea, but we're going to do. But you now take one from the blue deck. So the blue deck's all about assumptions. So it's called What If. And I don't know if this will work for some but not others. And I don't want any of this to turn into a therapy session where we have to pay some kind of insurance out, okay? So this starts with you turn to the past and relive an experience that would serve you today. Nothing bad here, guys. Nothing bad. So just think about it. Think about how you'd... that's Total Recall. It's basically the beginning of Total Recall. You've reinvented an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie plot. So for many experts, the most valuable training comes from personal experience. However, throughout history, there have been great events that, to date, serve as an example to inspire us, help us understand how others were able to transcend with different resources than we have today. So how can you do things? What can you learn from history? What can you learn from your own experiences? What can you learn about the things that you've thought of elsewhere and apply those to the ideas that you've got and to see which ones you can make better again? So if you had an idea, Steve, give me one of yours. Give me one of our ideas. A Bluetooth connection to your professor's brain. We did say the important thing here was quantity, not quality. So it always depends on the quality of the professor, I suppose. So what is a personal experience that might relate to that? It's not going to be literal. It's not going to be about other places where we've linked brains. Actually, it could be if you've read Day of the Triffids, I suppose. But what are the things in the past that mean that you could learn from that would do that? What are the experiences, the moments in time where if you'd had that connection, it would have changed things? It might end up as a marketing campaign where the reason you show the value of this because you show something from your own personal experience that would have been better if you'd had this product, right? Does that make sense? Is everybody good? Chatty table over there, they'll be asking questions in a sec. Anybody? Everybody? Okay, good. Pull a blue card, add it to your story, see how you go.
Question for you. Given we are running up on time, curious if there's a way or an idea you have about putting out these decks that are like there, like
I suspect. So how many do we think we've got?
kind of like 16. And then there's some at the table.
We should have 20 out, 16 in the box. Okay, so we'll give them all to we'll give them out. Firstly, we'll just do like top 3 teams, just in terms of like we'll just get people to shout out like the best overall idea they've had and telling the story of how they got to it. And we'll take the best 3 examples and give everybody in those 2 teams decks. Okay. Then it's just to go around and do that. So that's all the time.
Yeah. And of course, the ones at the table that are open.
Yeah, they can take.
So they can designate someone. Yeah. I don't know how to do that at the table. Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to give you as long for this one. So you're going to have another 2 minutes. the aircon is still running. It's running from there, but humidity is not taking. Tomorrow evening. I'm just going to give you a heads up that in a couple of minutes when we do this, every single team is going to pitch us at least one of their ideas. So make sure that you're doing these bits now, you're coming up with the ideas so that we can get you to pitch one in a minute.
Right, I just. I'll grab this other mic and just run around.
Okay, keep generating those new ideas.
All right, looks like you've got number marked out now. Right in front of.
One more minute. We'll do it before the very end. Four people left. Okay. We're going to move to the final part of this, right? So, just to give you a little bit of an idea. Oh, come on, be quiet for a moment. Honestly. When I was about 10 years old, and you'd go back to school, a first class of a new school year, and the teacher would sort of look at you, and they'd try and come up with a new sort of task for you. And the one that sometimes basically say something like, write a story about anything you like. And people just go, that's quite a lot of choice. And it doesn't get anywhere. Then they say, write a story about what you did in your summer holiday. Then they say, give you a constraint. And that actually fires the creativity. And that's what you're doing here. So some of the ideas will have continued from the first deck that you did. Then they were modified in the second, modified in the third. And you probably had some extra ideas along the way. Because that's what applying different perspectives and constraints does to the creative process. So we're just going to see what some of those best ideas are. So what we're going to do is quickly go, right, teams, how many ideas have you got that have made it all the way through that you've written up so far after the third one? Just roughly how many have you got? 6? Other team on this table? Fine. You all look quite like you're in agreement about it, so that's fine at least. Over here, how many? 6? 1, okay. At the back? 2? 15 down to 2. Wow, that's bad odds. You're harsh judges. On the other side of that table? 3. Okay, here? You just added more features. Okay, so you are Microsoft. Over here. You are looking at me straight in the eye, and you did not do that. You would basically... Okay, do not buy a used car from this lady. Over here. Over here, what have we got? 1 or 2, and opposite? 6. Okay, 6 is winning out here. Down the front. 1. 4. 1. It's like, is that how you wrote the 9? It was just like a skinny bit and a long stroke. Is it 9 or a 1? 9. We'll go with the 9. It's fine. Over on the back table. 6 and 3, 2. Okay. 1. 1. Yeah. 9. Honestly, okay. So the 9's cheating. So these guys here, Gary, remember that one? These ones and these ones here are claiming 9, so we do that. So now, basically, what we want you to do is just take 1 minute, just 1 minute between you to just decide what is the best idea you've come up with out of all of the ideas that you've had. Just pick one idea you think is the best idea that we haven't already heard of today, and just have a very quick think about what that might be. You've got literally seconds to do that. So in the terminology of this is called the ideas harvesting stage. Okay. We only have literally a couple of minutes left. So I'm going to pick a couple of tables and ask you to share with us the best idea you've had, okay? So, table over here. One of you two teams, team over here, what's the best idea you've had? There's a microphone making its way to you. Everybody else be quiet. Let this lady speak. I feel there's a Nigerian
A sensory VR travel experience.
A sensory VR travel experience. Ooh. Okay, that sounds like something that you could have come up with late night in a bar. That's a good thing. A sensory VR travel experience. Somebody in this table? The Wellness Office Pod. Is that right? Wellness Office Pod, okay. Somebody table at the back? You had all those ideas? Yeah, go and do this one.
A virtual reality sports experience to immerse you into the game.
Okay, immersing yourself into live sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you can basically see, you can stand there. I would not have wanted to stand in the middle of the hockey last night. But okay, fine. One from here.
Use smart communities.
Mixed use smart communities. Okay. Anybody got a particularly brilliant idea that we haven't shared? Oh my God, all the hands have gone up. This is what happens when the moderator calls out their own idea and everybody else thought their idea was better. Right, okay. Okay, so very quickly, I'll shout it out. Everybody with their hand up gets a microphone, so go.
So we created Nomad, a virtual reality experience where we not only create an environment where people that want to travel can experience the experience before they experience the experience. So they can see exactly what they want to do. They can see what's in the community, but not only can they see what they're going to see, they can talk to the people that are there. They can talk to the natives. They can experience.
You didn't get all this from the decks. Getting on. So that's good. And clearly also includes all the things you don't want to do. So it pleases the gentleman over there from earlier. Steve.
Yes, ma'am.
Conflict resolution through shared and empathetic experiences. So we have solved world peace here this afternoon.
All right, we have one right here. Right here.
So ours is an imaginary digital friend called Dr. Washington, and she's going to help you travel with confidence and ease. So when you go to new places and you get nervous, she'll know where to go, where's quiet, and where you get water, and you can feel chill.
Do you know what I love about this, as Anna was saying it, was everybody else on the table just going,
All right,
Like there was unanimity on this table. This is where it was going.
Right here?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you first and the lady behind.
Okay. Just Clothe Me is the name of the app.
Just code me.
Clothe.
Clothe me. Okay. I'm
Right?
obsessed. Yeah.
Not dress me, clothe me.
Yeah.
Right? And basically, you would load your own wardrobe, and then you could shop, and you would have everything around how your existing wardrobe made you feel, how you felt presenting out, and then it would give you ways to shop.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, we're going to have to call it to this bit to an end. I've got 1 more minute to go. Oh, sorry, this lady here, I did make you wait. I'm
yes,
sorry. Go.
I'm standing. You just couldn't tell because I'm.
Not my comment.
I am standing.
Go. You're good. Go.
411. We invented the Hollow Medic. Hollow meaning holographic. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
And it's a holographic medical scanner that diagnoses ailments by just scanning your body, and it cures it right on the spot.
Okay. Thank you very much. Round of applause. So, wrong thing. Hold on. So this is basically what the deck refers to as idea harvesting. So just once you've got to the end, there's a sort of a filtration process that you can go through, which we've sort of rushed in the nature of this exercise to take all that big quantity of ideas and turn it down to a couple of things that are useful. But the important part of it isn't the end idea. The important part of it is the questions and the way that you framed it as you went through things in order to have come up with a different type of way of acknowledging the value of placing constrictions on an idea, the value of putting in new constraints, and indeed adding unrealistic possibilities like imaginary new technologies, or if taking something into your childhood, the way that can lead to new creative ideas. So we just want to do two other things to wrap this up. The first is, Gary, where's Steve gone? He left. Okay, come here. Well, so the first thing that we're going to do in order to illustrate this is we're going to steal an idea that was largely popularized from the Oscars. So we're going to come here and we're going to do a giant selfie of this room because we never expected to have so many in the room today. So hold on a second. I've actually got to zoom out. Hold on. There you go. Let's see what we can do. Gary, get around here. There we go. There you go. Big cheer for yourselves. Okay, he's going to do it. Apparently he just wants me not in the photo. There you go. Right, thank you very much. We'll share that with the group. The final thing is just to ask you just to think for a second, back with your phones out, and do the same thing that we did before in 3 words or less, right? We're going to create a giant word cloud of what do you think of this? What do you think of this as a tool? What do you think of this as a session? Just what do you feel now you've come to the end of it? Just put a couple of words down in any sort of sane order. If you want to have 3 words that are different feelings with commas between them, if you need 3 words to describe one feeling, that's okay too. But try not to use more than 3 words. 7, 9, 11. This is where it gets really dangerous. Nothing rude, people. It's going to be photographed and immortalized. 29, 30. Couple more to go. $45. Just wait till it gets to 48 and then we'll do it. Oh no, there you go. Right. Helpful, brainstorm. Oh, it's still changing. Creative, weird. Creative, fun, collaborative. No bad idea. Look, who came up with no bad idea? That's the actual name of the session. No creativity used there at all. No imagination in this whatsoever. This is true. Somebody who can't count. Truly amazing experience that I want to share with other people. How can I have it? Honestly, the minimal levels of education that are expected these days. Useful but complex. Okay, I take that. Very interactive tool. Rushed. Also true. We thought people might need planes. Spanish, I get. I think I know who that was. We think we actually, there may or may not be some of these versions in translation, but there is a video that explains this in Spanish that we will that we'll share with some of the resources. Effective, good, unstructured. Yes, that's part of the point. Open-minded, stimulating, fun, rational. Let's take a picture of that. That's all pretty good. And so the very final thing is you need to appreciate how much work Gary and Steve have done over the last few days along with the rest of the team. Which also means that we don't want to take any of these decks home. So they are available from the Gen website if you want to buy some. I can't remember how much they are. They're not hugely costly, but it's just basically to cover the cost of having developed it. But if you've got the 2 decks that are on the table, if you can amicably agree between yourselves, you can take those home. And there are 16 others here that we're going to give out to the 2 teams that came up with the most ideas. There you go. Can you remember which ones they were? Can you hand those out? There's 1 here and the 9 over there. Okay. We'll see how we go. It's up to Gary. It's Gary's fault if you don't get one. There you go. Gary, just start giving them out. Give them out. Other than that, thank you very much. We are done. That was it. There we go. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the conference. Have a safe travel home. Goodbye.